Hello everybody. I wanted to make a video about something I've noticed far too often amongst people my age. Again, I'm 19 years old, and a lot of people my age don't know how to dress well. I mean, they bought a suit for prom, and that's the only time they've ever really needed it, or for a job interview, but it's a cheap suit, right? They went to a department store, they went to a tip-top tailor's, or I don't even know. I mean, some of these Moors, all of these really low quality suit retailers that are made to please the masses, really baggy, horrible cuts for, again, to fit as many people as possible. They use polyester. They don't, of course, use real wool. Everything's either, you're lucky to find a half canvas suit in those apartment stores. Usually it's all glued, right? And there's so many mistakes people make that I see. It's a big pet peeve of mine. So here's some things I wanted to share amongst people my age. If you really want to be different, if you really want to dress differently and show professionalism and show you're someone that can be taken seriously, someone that can be trusted, someone who's professional, well, here are a few tips so you guys could know. First of all, so a quality wool suit is going to be needed. Get yourself a fully canvassed wool suit. I mean, if you can't afford new, there's plenty of options getting used for substantially cheaper because online marketplaces such as eBay and Kijiji and even Styleform and Ask Andy about clothes. Second, wearing white socks with suits. I mean, no matter what suit color you have, whether it's a really light gray, almost an off-white even, or super dark navy, midnight navy, or black suit. But you shouldn't really wear black ever. Always go for navy blue. Why wear white socks? And this goes without saying, because nobody wants to see hairy ankles. And most importantly, nobody wants to see that look. That super skinny trend that's going on right now, it is really bad in my opinion, with pants that are not just no break, but I mean inches away from the ankle. That looks horrible. That's not how a pant should fit. And then the lapels that are quite literally this wide on one side. Come on. It's to save money. It's to stop using as much cloth for a particular suit because profit margins are everything. Again, this is a full cut, really wide lapel suit. And of course, this is a Kiton. And you could tell because they're not how do I say, in Croatian we use the word shkrt, and it's cheap. They're not cheap with the fabric. So that's another thing. 3, buying an expensive suit or buying even just any suit, even if you have a really cheap Moor suit, the collars that people wear are really bad. The really just floppy, zero interlining polyester shirts that always curl inwards and they look like crap. It's impossible to wear them with a tie because the collar is so small that you see the tie and it just folds over like this and it looks horrible. Or if you want to wear an open collar, it doesn't stand up because it curls. So horrible shirts. It's really important to invest in a good shirt, a good cotton shirt, even if it's a low-end cotton shirt, but to iron it and make sure your collar doesn't curl. Next, wearing ties that match your pocket squares, and everyone's heard this many times over again, but when you wear something that matches, or even if you wear, for example, my last video was about Donald Trump and how he started wearing from really expensive Brioni bespoke suits all the way to now wearing what appears to be cheap fused glued suits of the same quality you would find at a Moores or a tip-top tailor's. And I stand my case on that. So you ask, why do that? Well, why not do that? Even the ties he wears, Donald Trump, are his own branded ties, and they're silk, but they look like crap. These solid satin color ties that are red, neon red or blue or any, it just looks bad. It doesn't look good quality. And especially if you match that with a one-to-one copy of what your tie looks like in your pocket square, you just look like you came fresh out of prom. So never do that either. And the last two, very quickly, one will be, of course, never button the bottom button. People do it far too often, and you could see the button screaming for help because the jacket can't move properly. It can't move to your body because you have both buttons that are keeping it together. And of course, the last one, wearing basketball shoes or Air Force Ones or any sort of sneaker with the suit. What a horrible look. That looks really bad. Even a extremely low quality dress shoe would be magnitudes better than wearing a running shoe or a boot. I mean, a work boot. I've seen that trend now. I mean, even Goldman Sachs' David Solomon started wearing boots with suits. He's a very high level financial executive. Why would he do that? I mean, he's supposed to appear professional. To me, that just looks like garbage. I'll put a photo here so you can see as well, but alright, thank you for watching, of course, and until the next video.